Good morning. Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made, and we're just going to rejoice and we're going to be glad in it. Just wanted to shoot a short vid about a conversation I had with a dear friend of mine. I've been thinking about it all week, and so I decided to just throw it out there this morning and see what some of you guys think. If you got comments, I'd love to hear what you think about it. But this is a scenario. My buddy, he's been pastoring for a while, just like I have, and we talk pretty often, and we encourage one another. We keep one another focused. And was talking to him, and he was just really sort of down that day. And I was asking him, "Well, brother, what's wrong? What's wrong?" He said, "It's just the mentality of pastors, um, as and leaders, as of the churches in a way that he says like, no matter how much you try to work, no matter how much you try to connect with them." And be that brother, be that good sister, be that supporter. The mindset of them is that if you don't have hundreds of members, if you don't have a big, beautiful church like they have, if you don't have that position or that title, they pretty much treat you like you're nothing. They pretty much overlook you. They pretty much talk down to you instead of talking to you. And, you know, I, he said he even had something that told him um, this size, this congregation was affected by his spirituality. And some of the things he said, I know because I've gone through them myself. And we're treated like that here in Danville. So it's nothing new. But we were just talking, and I just reminded my brother. I said, "Listen, you got to remember one thing, which a lot of our brothers and sisters seem to forget, is that God's not uh, so much concerned about your number. He's concerned about the quality of people you have." And I told him, well, the way I always look at it, it's like everybody always talks about numbers and tithes, the tenth. You got to have a tenth. Well, you think about it now. You look into the scripture. God has always saved a portion for Himself. He's always kept back a tenth, if you want to look at it like that. In the Garden of Eden, all of the trees, God reserved one for Himself. So He's always kept one special thing for Himself. And looking at the tithe, and this is what I shared with him. I said, well, let's talk about the tithe of God's people. Just like when the prophet he felt, he told God to just take his life. And what God told him was, I have a portion who never bowed down to Baal and have never kissed him. So He just let him know that he had a portion reserved for himself, which he always does. And what I was sharing with my brother, I said, okay, if we just base it on the tenth, then if you have a church with 2,000 members, a tenth of those 2,000 is like maybe 200. That's not a lot out of 2,000. Let's break it on down. You come down to 1,000 members. You take a tenth out of 1,000. That's 100. But where it really gets sticky is, let's take it on down. From 1,000, let's take it down to 500. That would mean God might have actually 50 members who might actually be saved. Let's take it down to 100. That means there may actually be 10 saved folk, God's portion. And when you take it down from that, you see the numbers very drastically drop. So with that drop in numbers, with us at Avondale Temple, we're concerned on the quality of people. I would rather have 9 or 10 people that I believe are saved simply from the fruit and the lifestyle that they live, not by the lip lap out of their mouths, but from the lifestyle and the fruit they possess. I'd rather have 10 saved folk than 900 folk and there's no fruit. And so this is what I was sharing with my brother. I said, listen, brother, be encouraged. It's not the size, but it is the such. It is the quality. And the other thing I told him, and what really keeps me encouraged, you know what? I don't know what it is that makes they. I think they think the scripture talks about thinking more of yourself than you ought. I don't know what it is with that, because we run into that everywhere. If they got a few members, all of a sudden they the greatest thing since peaches and cream. They so wonderful, so they so all. Everything is based on the premise of what they think and what they see. God is looking at the quality, and what I'm saying is, I reminded my brother, it doesn't matter if you've got one member. That one member is entitled to the same blessing and promise in heaven that God gives to everybody. It doesn't matter what position they're in, they still be in the same, they still get the same blessing. And that's what I think a lot of people forget. They think that they so almighty, they think they got all of this stuff, they got it going on. Well, you know what? They don't get any more than I get in heaven. Now, that reward. And that's the thing that keeps me encouraged. You know what? It does not matter to me what you feel you have, or what you think you might have. That's what I was telling my brother. When it comes down to it, if we standing before glory, I'm gonna get the same blessing as anybody else. I'm gonna get the same. You know what? I'm entitled to the same blessing that T.D. Jakes is entitled to. I'm entitled to the same blessing that Ron Parsley is entitled to. I'm entitled, and this is what keeps me focused, and this is what keeps me pressing on. I get the same blessing. It doesn't matter if I just got saved yesterday. I have the same blessing. And this is how I keep myself encouraged. And this is how I tried to help my brother. And he was encouraged after we talked. You know what? The same blessing. That's what I love about God. He ain't fickle like us. God's not fickle, and he's not fooled. So let's work together, brothers and sisters, and try to encourage one another. Let's keep praying for one another, because in this time, in this day and hour, God needs his people on point. And I just ask you to pray for me, that I can continue to stay on point, that I can continue to do what I know God has sent me to do, and not what everybody else thinks I ought to do. All right, guys, God bless you. Pray for me, pray for my friend, and we're going to do the same for you.